You're listening to The Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. I'm your host, Matt Burns, and I can honestly say it's a great day today for us to be doing this. Yes, we are later than usual because we've had well, I'll put this down to myself, but let's just say this. I am very proud to announce I've got John Bloor back.
Hello. Hello, I'm back. I'm back in the land of the living.
He's back in the land of the living.
Very much feeling below par last week. I'm here now.
Well, last week I believe I had Shed with me in regards to the former owner of UKWA, and he is the current owner of UK. Well, I'd say the founder of UKWA, and he is currently the founder and owner of one half of the owner of UKWM. But he actually filled in for you and everything for you. So
sure, he did a sterling job, but like a bad smell, I just don't go away. So hi, I'm back.
You're not that bad.
Not that bad. Oh, that's reassuring. Good.
You're not that bad.
Good enough to keep being invited back. Let's just keep it at that.
You're always welcome back. Come on.
Marvellous.
Take into account. Let me just state this. I wonder if you've updated your Twitter handle yet, John.
I have updated my Twitter bio, and you can now find a link to the Marvellous Burning Truth in said bio. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And if I'm not mistaken, it's not just the Burning Truth you'll find on there. I believe to some, you are the voice of UKWA.
I am.
Well, the voice of reason.
UKWA's voice of reason. That is me.
Now, we've got a lot to talk about this week. I know one subject we're going to be recovering from last week, just so I can get a bit of input from for John's views as well. How in regards to the UKWA 0 Hour event, but at this moment in time, the Burning Truth, literally, we unfortunately during this week, on the 12th of February, the wrestling world lost a absolute icon and legend.
They certainly did.
Which is Pedro Morales.
Pedro Morales.
Absolute legend,
sadly,
iconic, and if I'm not mistaken, as before we went on the air, we were discussing in regards to some of his records.
Indeed. Longest, amongst many of the plaudits he has had, longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, combined reigns over the course of 2. Interestingly, still longer than both The Miz's 8 reigns and Chris Jericho's 10. So that's quite an impressive feat.
Quite an impressive feat.
The first ever WWE Triple Crown winner, before that was even considered a thing.
It was, because the second person before it was happened was actually Bret Hart, just to show how rare being a Triple Crown was.
Just for those that aren't aware, the Triple Crown is the person who has managed to win all of the titles available in WWE at the time, which were the WWE Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, and the Tag Team Championship.
Correct. Which is
so he was a winner.
Which is to go down in history for basically etched into the history books and forever immortalized. Now,
yes.
In regards to this, we are going to do a 1 minute silence on the air. So for anybody who listens in just after, we do apologise. So in regards to this, we are going to do a 1 minute silence. And that has been 1 minute silence for Pedro Morales.
Pedro Morales, rest in peace, a true wrestling icon.
And condolences to his family, friends, work colleagues.
Indeed. From both of us.
From the Burning Truth, from ourselves as well. So, from going from there, we're now going to touch back on a subject that was already covered last week, where I actually got some input and found some very, very interesting things that I missed on my own show while I was in the back and everything.
Ooh, cool. It's always fun to find out things that happened after the event.
Yes, because some of it has got some interesting developments, and in other cases, let's just say a certain person who was assigned a role should have fulfilled that role professionally, right down the middle, and not have been involved. But we'll get on to that part a bit later on in regards to your views on the topic. In regards to the UK 0 hour, now last week we actually discussed the actual results and everything, and we just wanted to get your input on the actual matches themselves yourself, as you were the one to be able to call it down the middle.
I certainly was, and to this day, 2 weeks later, I would like to say it was a great show. Thank you to everyone who attended. Available soon on Turnbuckle TV. Fact fans.
Interesting fact. If I'm not mistaken, yep. I believe that the trailer had come out on Friday.
Ah, wonderful. Please find yourself near a computer, if you're listening to The Burning Truth and you want something to do when you're finished, give that a watch and a like, please, by all means.
Definitely. But, it's on YouTube.
I would like... So, it's on YouTube. Wonderful. Yeah. Things I would like to raise from the show are... who invited Grodd?
No idea. However, Grodd may have turned up unexpectedly. However, he may get an actual personal invite for the next show.
I see. To explain himself, I would imagine.
Well, immediately not long after, when I was informed, or not immediately. I found out about this a few days after the fact. I believe it was the day after I managed to find out about this. The first thing that pops into my head is, yes, we can have him explain himself, or shall we consider booking him in a match?
I think that might be a good idea.
Now, I'm not going to say who it is yet, because we're just finalising some of the ideas and everything. But here's the thing: be careful what you start. Grodd.
Oh, well, he needs to bear that in mind very much. But I'm sure that you will be cooking up some suitable retribution for his actions.
No.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see him.
I'll just state this. I'm not going to be the one who... Let's just say, a few days after me finding out, I actually had someone get in touch. And I feel as though management shouldn't be getting involved unless we're just booking matches, which is what we're going to be doing. And if somebody else feels justified in reprimanding Grodd, I feel that this person may very well do so far better than what I could.
I see. Well, as cryptic as that is, I'm sure that will lead to a wonderful bit of reveal ahead of the next show on UKWA social media, when drip by drip will be filled in as to exactly what that cryptic claim Matt Burns has just dropped actually means.
Potentially.
With regards to the future for Grodd. But yeah, that was the first one I'd like to raise. The second one was, of course, fantastic matches from top to bottom. But I just want to ask you, what was going on in that main event?
That's the thing.
More specifically, after it.
This is what I was implying beforehand. Just before we discussed Grodd. And I'll just go back to the Grodd situation, just to make everyone clear that Chantal Jordan did get checked out and has actually been medically cleared. She has been given.
Good.
She has been cleared. However, don't know if she is. She has been medically cleared. We don't know if she's 100%. We don't know as of yet. Time will tell. We'll have to find out in regards to that, or from.
We have to hope so.
From Chantal, fingers crossed, she will do, because she has I believe, a reputation to keep up, especially being the baddest girl on the planet. Now, back onto the situation with what entailed in regards to the last match. I stated this last week that I may have to conduct a bit of either a sit-down chat during the week. I have been consulting with my business partner in regards to this, and we're going back and forth on what should happen and what shouldn't happen. Especially in regards to the fact that him being the general manager should
I was going to say, somebody, the general manager, should not get involved at all in the proceedings of the match.
Of any matches.
No, beyond booking them, that should be where his involvement begins and ends, to be brutally honest.
Yes, I appreciate the fact that he assisted with Dougie Matthews, who was disrupting the main event.
However,
to do what he did,
no call
disregards, and unfortunately, as I stated last week, what makes it such a crying shame is, I know in your mind you're probably thinking, why I haven't fired him.
Are you speaking about to me or metaphorically to the listener? Because I'm sure in both cases they will once they see the footage on Turnbuckle TV. But for me, as I was there, I'm sure you've got your reasons, but it has crossed my mind.
Unfortunately, as I discussed last week, he has lived up to his nickname being the entrepreneur, Christopher Drew.
Okay.
In the fact that, let's just say, when his contract was signed, part of that contract was built by myself, and part of it was built by Renee. I wasn't there when he signed it, and somehow, some sneaky clauses have managed to get into said contract, because immediately after I was informed of what had happened, I went through I've been going through some of the contracts and everything in details, and he has got a bit of a sneaky clause where I can't just outright fire him in regards to his actions.
I'm not going to ask the awkward question of how that clause might have been inserted in there, but it does present you with somewhat of a problem if
it does.
He's going to use that clause to act in the way that he did after the main event.
True. However,
for those who have yet to see the footage, available soon on Turnbuckle TV, I was apoplectic at ringside, and I think quite rightly.
Yes, as I've even evaluated the footage myself. And I can understand why there was a lot of perplexed looks on faces. And I will state this. Yes, Drew has got it in his contract that I cannot currently outright fire him. However,
there's nothing in it that says you can't make his life an absolute misery.
No. However, Drew should also remember, yes, he is the entrepreneur. he may have missed some for small print.
So what you're
He
saying
may have
is
missed some small print.
he may have added a clause, but he may have also missed one that you put in there. I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and
as much as Grodd
let's
will
just
have to explain
all I'll
himself
just
at the next
say.
show, I get the feeling he might get a bit of a bumpy ride as well.
Let's just say, I will be potentially addressing that personally on May 25th at Sugar Rush. Publicly,
which will be the next show.
At the show.
That I look forward to immensely. Because, he was one half of the commentary team with my good self. And so I'll be looking forward to that.
Be rest assured, he will still be doing that role.
That's good.
With yourself. However, you'll have to wait and see in regards to in regards to his response to what I reveal on May 25th.
I see. So basically, what you're going to reveal, you're going to judge based on how he reacts. There's a little teaser for you.
We'll have to wait and see.
I like the sound of that.
We'll have to wait and see.
The potential to make someone squirm, and that person's not me, so I can't complain.
Yes.
All right. Well, apart from that, the match was the show was epic. The match was epic, despite his best efforts, and I, for one, very much enjoyed it, and will be shamelessly plugging it throughout on social media until such time as everybody has watched it.
And let me assure you, to everybody, that yes, that's, congratulations to Charles Kelsey on becoming the King of the Kingdom champion. However, there is that one golden rule. Luke Basham is entitled to a rematch.
He certainly is. Mandatory rematch clause as champion.
Whether he chooses to use that for the next show is entirely up to Basham.
Or keep it in reserve. That is, of course, entirely his judgment.
Correct. But to understand this, we will be assessing the situation very closely.
We will. All right. I think that's probably wrap that up pretty much perfectly.
In a nice little bow. And just to mention, once again, that entire show will be on Turnbuckle TV very soon.
Marvellous. I know I, for one, will be subscribing and watching.
And I could even, potentially go as far as this coming week.
Ooh, that's wonderful. And of course, don't forget, from a business standpoint, I would be remiss not to mention, if you would like to do the same, to subscribe to Turnbuckle TV and watch UKWA Zero Hour, as well as all of the fantastic content on there, to help support your local indie wrestling companies, such as UKWA. We even have a link on the Burning Truth website.
Correct. There will be a potential Burning Truth. There will be a link on there, but I'll just state this instead. If anybody is interested, please go to www.turnbuckletv.com/UKWA/. And if you enter that will show that you are providing support for the UKWA. But if anybody else does actually isn't just there for the UKWA and wants to support some of the other wrestling companies, there is other wrestling companies on there as well.
It is a veritable Aladdin's cave of wrestling delights.
Correct. And I just thought I'd just point that out in regards to it.
Turnbuckle TV, if you would like to use that, please contact me to negotiate a fee. All right.
I like how you did that. But anyway, let's move on from discussing about UKWA 0 Hour and everything, and let's just state this. I recently, I did actually recently see the King of the Kingdom champion recently.
You did?
Yes,
since the event?
Yes, I have. Last night.
Okay.
And that was for Fusion Pro Wrestling when I was wrestling in Lanlevecken.
Bless you.
And let's just state this. I ended up being in a bit of a interesting matchup on that night, being that I teamed up with G-Force, the former Fusion Pro Wrestling Grand Champion, and
to face off against
a Mr. No Fear Ryan Lloyd, or Ry Lloyd, to face off with Anarchy.
Very, very interesting. And a neat little tie-in there, fact fans, to UKWA Zero Hour.
That it is. Which...
So, I understand that you aren't feeling 100% yourself today, however.
Yes.
Little bit under the weather as a result of actions within that match. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's not fun getting kicked in the head.
No. Unfortunately, it's a hazard of the job when the job is what you do. That's why I'm quite happy to stay safely behind the announce table now. I tried it. Yeah, getting kicked in the head wasn't fun. So, yeah, I'll sit and talk about it now. But you still, of course, are fully involved in the action. And, well, things like that happen, unfortunately, as I say.
True.
Risk of the job. Still, it was a great show, I'm sure. And... I know we don't really do spoilers on this show, but did you win?
Did we teach Anarchy a lesson?
I would hope so, yes. But
I don't normally do spoilers, but I am very, very sorry to say that we did upset them.
You upset them?
Yeah.
Well, I'm very sorry to say I'm sure they deserved it.
Correct.
I don't condone that sort of thing, but I'm sure they deserved it.
However, in regards to future Fusion Pro Wrestling matches and regards to them, you'll have to check out on their social media, as they have got much more upcoming events as such, and it'll be exciting to see. But let's move on from the situation from that a little bit. But let me just state, I ended up bumping into Kelsey as I entered the Tag Team Rumble, the Grand Rumble, with G4 to try and become their first Tag Team Champions, where I proceeded to encounter Charles Kelsey in there. We didn't get to talk much, unfortunately, but as soon as by the time I spotted him, I already got sucked in the mouth by his elbow.
I'm sure he'll claim it was an accident.
Trust me, there was nothing accidental about that.
Ouch.
But I do not take it personally. I was wrestling.
It's part of the job. Yeah,
it was part of the job, part of the action, and I can also say he does hit a mean elbow.
I'm sure both of the teeth you left at ringside will attest to that. Please note, folks, I am joking.
I'm actually counting.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, that aside,
shall we move on to this evening's entertainment for those of iron enough stomach and not needing to get up early for work in the morning types?
Translation: if you're in Britain, or, if you're in the UK and everything, or somewhere that isn't in America.
If you're not in mainland North America, you will need to stay up late because tonight it is WWE Elimination Chamber. I'm not 100% sure if it starts at midnight or 1 a.m. UK time.
Potentially. And just to point out, that isn't the name that you just mentioned. Yes, it is known as Elimination Chamber around the world, with the exception of Germany it's known as, in Germany, as No Escape.
I did not know that. However, when they do the pan to the German commentary team at the start of the event, it does still say Elimination Chamber on the front of their desk. So slightly confused, or at least it did last year. So I wonder if they fixed that for this year.
They may have. But anyway, in regards to this, this is going to be a interesting night because, and allow me to apologise in advance because if you hear any tapping noises or any typing noises, that is most likely from myself, and the reason being is the last time we did predictions, it was great, but we ended up having to go back on ourselves to find out who we actually predicted for and who won and you know, by how much.
Yeah. So basically, as we say our predictions this week, Mr. Matt Burns will be typing them up so that we have a record, so that we can know how, in my case, probably nowhere near as surprisingly well as last time, or how badly we did instantly.
True, you did not too
and
bad
we
last
can
time.
refer to it next week. Yeah.
You did not too bad last
now,
time.
before we start on the matches themselves, would I be right in thinking this is not, contrary to what it would appear, the last stop on the road to WrestleMania? Because in either 2 or 3 weeks' time, I do believe that there will be the other WWE pay-per-view event, Fastlane.
Yes, that is correct. So the
which
road to
itself will be the last stop.
This is not the last stop. This
But
is
it's
in
simply
fact
the latest stop.
It's the latest stop. Now, this is the issue with the whole brands stop doing more joint pay-per-views. Originally, this was, I believe, SmackDown's last stop before WrestleMania, with Fastlane being Raw's last stop before WrestleMania. So,
in light of the brand split no longer being an issue, but all pay-per-views being dual branded, I don't personally see the need for both shows. But WWE, well, 2 shows, twice the money to be made, I'm sure is the bottom line of it.
True. But look at it this way. I'm pretty sure that anybody who's got the WWE Network is probably thinking, we got a bonus there.
Well, indeed, if you've signed up for your 3 months, you get 2 pay-per-views free for the price of 1, so nobody can fault you, really.
No complaints there. But let's just...
Indeed.
Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, shall we?
Right, okay, yeah. Let us go through the card and give our received pro wrestling wisdom between each of us for what we think will happen in each match.
Correct. And I will go with the prediction for the pre-show, which is the following matches for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, and it is between Buddy Murphy, the current champion, versus Akira Tozawa.
Now, Buddy Murphy, the reigning defending champion, Akira Tozawa, the one-time former Cruiserweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
Both men at the top of their game. I know it'll be a fantastic match. And as much as I would love to say the opposite will be true and Akira Tozawa will become a 2-time Cruiserweight champion, I can't see it happening.
I can't either, unfortunately.
Because you can't stop the unstoppable, as Mr. Murphy might say, and the role that Buddy Murphy is on just at the moment is pretty much unstoppable on the road to WrestleMania. So I'm predicting Murphy to win, as are you, I think.
Yeah, I'd say that's a solid bet, that one is, between us both. So there's no difference there in regards to that prediction. Now,
awesome.
Going on further.
Write that down, Secretary Burns.
It's already on there. It's already on.
That's all good. It's all good. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Right, so that would be the pre-show sorted. Moving on to the card proper.
Right, and let me just state that with me... Right. Let me just state, in regards to this, that...
Yep.
We are doing the match card in random order.
Excuse me?
So, what I'm
doing it in random order, not necessarily the order that they will appear on the card. Okay, that's
correct.
Cool.
They will be in random order. However, some of the matches, yay, great. Some of them,
yes, some pique our interest and some really, really don't. But such is the way of wrestling. You can't like everything all the time.
True.
So with that in mind, which match have you drawn out of the hat for us to talk about first?
I am going to pretty much just throw it out there, and this will be a no disqualification match between Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin.
Yeah, this is one of those not sure really kind of matches, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Unfortunately, that does seem to be the case.
Don't get me wrong. Baron Corbin, yes, perfectly capable worker. Not by any stretch of the imagination a small guy. Can inflict a lot of punishment, but come on, it's Braun Strowman. He's not going to win in a month of Sundays, is he?
But take into account that no disqualification rule.
Yeah, I appreciate that means that both men can potentially get all their friends involved to come and help them and use any shortcut and weapon that they like. But going back a couple of months to the match which relieved Corbin of his interim general manager status on Monday Night Raw, I think that's going to favour Mr. Strowman a tiny bit more because the long and the short of it is Corbin ain't got no friends.
Very true, very true, very true. But anyway, let's move on from that and get on
Hang on. Whoa. I said I think Strowman will win. Do you agree with that? Because I didn't hear you call at all.
I don't even need to. It's Strowman.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough.
I don't even need to bother.
In that case,
it's Strowman.
Moving on.
As much as I could... You're making it very difficult for me to argue against you.
I see. Yeah, it is somewhat of a waste of Strowman, let's be perfectly honest.
It would be. Now, the next match I've got on here, it's just...
It's one of those... Oh, okay, we're a match short on the card. What can we throw on there?
It's
kind
not
of moment.
No. It's not one of them ones. It's fine. I just don't... And what makes it weird is how WWE are playing this up.
Okay.
It's a handicap match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
It is. Okay.
Finn Balor.
I'm nervous already.
Finn Balor.
Yes.
Versus Bobby Lashley.
Yes.
And Lio Rush.
Okay, I'm slightly confused. I was of the knowledge, not infallible, I'll freely admit that Lashley was the champion.
He is.
Okay, so instead of just booking a one-on-one wrestling match between Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor, they've thrown the world's most annoying mosquito into it as well for no apparent reason.
And check this one out. They are making out that the handicap is to Bobby Lashley, stating that if Finn Balor is able to pin Lio Rush, Lashley will lose the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
Well, in that case, yes, the handicap is to Bobby Lashley already over and above the fact that he has got to concentrate on Finn Balor. He's now got to concentrate on the world's most irritating mosquito buzzing in his ear and potentially costing him his Intercontinental title without him even being involved.
True, but...
I personally would rather that they...
But that also means that if Lio Rush pins Finn Balor, then Lashley keeps his title.
Interesting.
So it's not a triple threat.
No.
So, essentially... 2 guys versus 1, and WWE are trying to make out that 1 can beat 1 is better than 2, especially with one of them being Bobby freaking Lashley.
Yeah, hang on. One is better than two. Where have I heard that before?
What?
Feed me more. Anyway, move on.
No, this is the issue I have with it.
Yeah, the issue that I have with it is Lio Rush, full stop.
Lio Rush has been getting involved in Lashley's matches. Fine. That's But to try and make out that Lashley is at the disadvantage of Finn Balor because of Lio Rush, okay, there is a small chance that Finn Balor could get a lucky pin. But
yeah, I agree. That's completely nonsensical booking.
To think that someone like Lashley is going to sit down quietly and not do anything.
Yeah, it's kind of underselling the massive size, massive strength,
at the same time,
deceptive speed of Lashley, really, isn't it?
True, but at the same time, Finn Balor has made a believer, supposedly, out in Brock Lesnar.
Well, absolutely. After the beating he took and the refusal of his to in any way lay down during their match.
Correct. Now, to me, that was very, very interesting. In regards, that was interesting. But to go from there to the Intercontinental Championship, now, one or two things are either going to happen. Either Finn Balor is winning with a sneaky roll upon Lio Rush, which is that to protect Bobby Lashley.
You would argue there's not a great deal of other reasons for them to do it that way.
Or have they done this so Bobby Lashley will run through Finn Balor and he's not so damaged by it being a handicap?
I'm not sure because, well, having come from an amazing match with none other than Brock Lesnar, in which he was proven to be more than just the beast's equal, I think Lashley running through him in ridiculously quick time actually undoes all the good work of that and is totally counterproductive.
True, it does, but at the same time, he's got Lio Rush, so there's another person there. That makes Finn Balor look strong, but it also does a bit of damage to Bobby Lashley, that he needs the extra help. Now, they can say it's a villain.
This is a no-win situation, really, is it?
Yeah. So, who are you going to go with?
I am going to go with... I think that, actually, Lashley will retain... here's a wayward call, just because I don't actually know what to think. Lashley will retain after, air quotation marks, accidentally knocking out Lio Rush instead of Finn Balor.
Okay.
And then the remainder of the match will be a one-on-one match in which, well, unfortunately, much the same story as with Brock Lesnar, Lashley's size and power will just be too much for Finn Balor.
I don't know why. I can see Finn Balor getting the win.
I honestly don't know. I've just gone with that. That's what I said. I'll stick by it now I've said it, but I can also see that happening. So,
that's a good point.
Yeah, there's merit in both arguments.
And I just thought I'd go with Finn Balor because otherwise this is going to be a very, very boring predictions, as just agreeing.
Well, absolutely, yeah. As much fun as it is, us agreeing with each other, every single one doesn't make for a very combative thing. No, especially if we either get them all right or get them all wrong,
Correct. I'm going to go with Finn Balor on this one.
Fair enough.
So, moving on from that.
Next match on
the card. We are now going to go for singles match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship.
Between the incumbent champion, Ronda Rousey,
versus Ruby Riott.
That's going to be a fight.
It is. However, I have got to touch up on a subject that is going to cause a mini riot.
Pun intended.
Sorry for the pun.
Okay, do go on.
Now, I'm going to have to do this rant now, before we get on to our discussion in regard to this match.
No, that's absolutely fine. I'm standing by. I have polished the soapbox. It is ready for you to climb upon and rant away. So, here we go.
What is WWE doing?
In 3, 2, 1, go Matt Burns.
Right, officially, WWE have actually made an absolute... I understand that you want to... Oh, triple threat. Let's make it a triple threat. Let's make it a triple threat at WrestleMania. Right, I understand you're trying to feed Charlotte down our throats. But Christ on a bike!
Yeah. Of all the situations, of the ways they could have handled this, not only did they pick the worst one, but they literally dropped it on the floor, broke it, and tried to hide that by mashing it into the carpet. They have not done well out of this. I completely agree.
They haven't. It's what's so stupid, and this is really stupid. Now, they know that. Now, a lot of fans know that Vince McMahon's opinion changes on a whim, depending on whether they like you or not. Now, if Becky Lynch is injured, fine, fair enough, fair play. Make it clear, make it announced.
Announce it, say so, first off the bat. She's not in this match because she's not capable of being.
Right.
Everyone will be really pissed off, but at least they'll understand because it's a valid reason.
It's a valid reason.
Oh, wait, no, they're not going to go down that route at all. They're going to go down the welcome to Vince McMahon's ego land.
Right. Now, the issue is, you've got Asuka, and I'm going to have to bring in the SmackDown a little bit here, the SmackDown Women's Champion, who has been vacant lately, who hasn't been on the shows for a while, don't know why, 100%. There has been rumours in regards to it, and unfortunately I haven't looked into too much of why Asuka hasn't been around as of yet. However, there could be a potential storyline in regards to that. But what absolutely astounds me is Asuka beats Becky Lynch by tapping her out. Becky gets into Royal Rumble by a bit of fluke and bit of storytelling. Fine. Great. We then see her with Charlotte in the final. We're going through this malarkey again. Right. Done. And I'm thinking to myself, please don't let me Charlotte. Please don't let me Charlotte. Becky wins it. She finally gets her match.
She wins it, which guarantees her the match at WrestleMania.
Supposedly.
By the way.
Supposedly.
Well, that's the whole point of the Royal Rumble for the last 30 years of its 33-year existence. You know? But, hey, don't let a bit of 30 years of tradition and logic get in the way of a bit of screwy booking, eh?
Correct. But then they imply she isn't 100% with her knee. Okay. I see what they're doing. So then they get Triple H and they get Stephanie first say your knee's not fine, blah blah blah, trying to get her to book authority. Right.
Yeah, it's needless interference when all they need to do
now
to tell a world-class story for this one is just tell the truth.
Correct.
Just be like, well, we're going to book this match as a triple threat because Becky's knee's playing up and she might not make it. If she can't make it, we'll be the first ones to tell you and apologise in advance.
But I don't think Becky's injured in the slightest.
Shenanigans.
I don't think she's actually injured. I just think they just wanted to fit Charlotte in again. But I'll continue on that partial rant in a minute. But let's just state this. In regards to it, they then state that she needs to get medical clearance, suspend her, so then she's not able to do it, which then she slapped Stephanie. So she's then booking authority, almost a bit like how Austin did with Vince. Fine.
Yes.
They're doing that story. So Charlotte's nowhere near yet. Fine. Let's go with this. Then you get Triple H on SmackDown stating it. But he's actually sounding a little bit with Becky until she slaps him. Right. We're doing this.
Yeah, it's a dreadful hodgepodge of about 400 different things because they don't seem to be able to know what they actually want to do with it. Possibly because they heard the crowd's initial reaction to the statement that Becky wouldn't be in the match and panicked, but who actually knows what's going on in the head of Vince McMahon, who, let's not forget, is the one who has the ultimate say in all of this.
Correct. Now, what blew my mind is that happened, right? Then Raw this week comes. Now, normally we don't do predictions or discuss the current results. This one I have got to talk about because it absolutely blew my mind, and not in a good way.
You'll have to bear with me because this will be news to me because I've not yet seen this week's Raw. Please explain to me exactly
this is
why
actually
your
better.
mind was blown.
This is actually going to be good because we're going to get your reaction to it. Now, they then have the whole, role of all the McMahons on Raw, who is supposedly meant to be not starting off Raw all the time, with the whole management authority taking over and everything, and yet they're still on every week. Nothing's changed. Welcome to 2019.
Same as 2018, 17, 16,
and 15.
See every year ever.
Yes. And they basically have Becky Lynch coming out stating, is she all clear for her big match?
Yep.
They give her the all clear. She's got a doctor's note.
Lovely. They give her the all clear. She's in the match.
She's in the match.
See you next year.
However, she's then got to make a public apology for slapping Stephanie and Triple H.
Oh.
Fine.
Lovely.
They did that at the start of the show?
Fine. She's over as anything. A little bit of humiliation has always been the McMahon way. Kiss some backside, get on with it. That makes no sense, but it guarantees.
I haven't finished yet.
People who are paying for the show.
So you think with that
fine.
character, she is the man? A lot of people are saying she's not going to apologise. She's not going to apologise. She's not going to apologise. So they are teasing her dilemma throughout the whole night because, let me just say it, that segment was at the start.
So, yeah, which means they have 3 whole hours. Well,
yes.
By the time Triple H just finished cutting the promo, 2 more whole hours to actually tease the living daylights out of it. Approximately, if I know WWE, every 4.5 minutes.
Right. Are you ready for this?
In
the end, Becky apologises for her actions.
So far, so not even remotely necessary or relevant.
Stephanie accepts. Triple H accepts. The match is back on. For them, Vince come out and resuspend Becky for her bad action behaviour. The fact that they had to wait for her to decide on the fact she should have been instant due to bad behaviour, and that she is suspended until after WrestleMania, and that Charlotte is her replacement.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Sorry, what? Seriously, Vince, go back to sleep. Let the adults deal with this.
And no, this was announced live on Raw. And had Charlotte come out. Woo!
Boom! Times how many thousand people were in the
Instantly.
room. Deafening levels.
Instantly. Then SmackDown comes on. Boosh comes out. Yep. and Charlotte saying, "I told you I'd get you Ronda Rousey, and I'm dedicating this match to Becky Lynch because she self-sabotaged herself, blah, blah, blah." And it's like, oh, fuck.
This is one of the situations that, honestly, in recent years, I thought WWE had managed to turn a corner and stop doing, but they seem never to be able to completely back themselves out of the hole, where basically Vince McMahon has taken the metaphorical millions and millions of dollars that this match would have made at WrestleMania and metaphorically set it on fire just to please his own ego.
Now, that might not be the case. Now, I am not disputing a potential triple threat. Might not be on the card. However, they are absolutely implying that Becky Lynch is not in the match because Becky was not at SmackDown.
Seriously. No, I have
no. She was at SmackDown, but he did that as a pre-clip on SmackDown, and she supposedly re-injured her knee again. Supposedly.
I have no words.
Which brings into doubt, is she injured or isn't she? Are they actually going to go forward with this? Are they actually going to do it? And what is so stupid in regards to this is that whole dilemma. Now, let me just point this out. If they go with just Charlotte doing the match, why did they let Becky win the Royal Rumble?
Good question. I can't answer that.
The only thing I can think of is to make Ronda the face and for Charlotte Flair to be hated.
Yeah. Now, the other issue I have, of course, with this, which drags it kicking and screaming back to the point and to the Elimination Chamber card, if I may, is throughout all of this, the steadfast stone cold fact has been that the match will be at WrestleMania, whoever the hell is in it, against the champ, who will be Ronda Rousey, which basically is standing atop the Eiffel Tower and urinating all over any hope that Ruby Riott will be anything other than 10 minutes of filler to be flattened by Rousey tonight, and ruining any suspense that what might otherwise have been quite a good match might have had, which is also unforgivable booking.
Correct, which everyone's probably already predicted that both of us are already deciding Ronda Rousey to be successful.
But that match might as well not happen. So much of a foregone conclusion, is it? And that makes me sad, because Ruby Riott, as well as Becky Lynch, frankly, deserve considerably more than that.
Correct, which is a massive shame, because in regards to it, it's just...
Yeah, it makes no sense on any level, except it makes us sad.
It does. And what makes us worse...
It's the kind of... Go on.
Are you ready for this? I'm going to do a bit of fantasy booking here.
Yeah, go on.
A little bit. All I'm just going to say is, my massive grievance is, why is it that whenever we've got something good for Becky, Charlotte's filling in? Charlotte's either taking in or taking the spotlight. Now,
I don't understand the sort of symbiotic link between these two. I don't know what they're trying to imply with it. I don't know either. It doesn't make a great deal of sense. But
aren't they supposed to be one of the four horsewomen of WWE?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It seems as though they're either lifelong best friends, two of the four horsewomen, great, fantastic, or I hate you guts. You've taken the spotlight from me. I hate you, rah, rah, rah. And these two opposites seem to alternate faster than the Big Show can turn heel or face, depending on what's needed of him.
Correct. And Charlotte gets her moment alone, her special moment. She beat Asuka for the take her on the 50th Street and everything. She did all that. She got to do it by herself. No Becky involved whatsoever. However, when it comes to Becky doing a record or doing something new, there's Charlotte.
Yeah, I know. It does seem to me as though Becky Lynch, who, by the way, took the initiative all by herself, it seems as though it's the age-old Vince McMahon thing, whereby Becky's got herself over as hell. Well, did we want her to? Well, no, it kind of just happened. Damn it, we can't have that.
No, we can't
Book her
have
into
that.
oblivion.
Book it to oblivion, and this is. I feel sorry for stating this. They have put Charlotte in the Roman Reigns situation.
They absolutely have.
And
they've not only put Charlotte in a situation where she will get nothing but boos for the rest of time.
Let me just state this. Also, I do not hate Roman in any way.
Me neither.
I hope for him to have a speedy recovery. I highly rate Roman as a great worker, great wrestler. Does know, he has been getting massively better each time he's in the ring, massively doing big matches, top notch.
Yep.
However, with Roman, they just kept forcing it down our throats. Roman got over the second WWE pulled the foot off a little bit. Which,
essentially, he got over in spite of them.
That's what I'm saying. The second they eased off, he got over. And then...
Yeah.
Now they've done that on Charlotte. They're now putting the push...
I don't understand it. It's been proven time and time again. Roman Reigns has been the latest example.
Which is a shame.
Put a rocket under them and you will like them, goddammit, approach doesn't work.
Charlotte has already got her reputation. She is a flair.
Yeah.
I understand she's a flair. I understand she's possibly entitled to more matches. She's entitled to this, but my God.
Yeah, they've not handled it well. She is
good, but stop force feeding it.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's not good. Right, okay. I think we've covered that in as much detail as we can.
Yeah.
So we both agree that, sadly, the other victim in all of this, beside Becky Lynch, is Ruby Riott, who isn't going to get a look in tonight.
No.
And
Ruby Riott isn't the only victim.
Will be fantastic.
Ruby Riott isn't the only victim who's been hit here. Are you ready for this? Remember, I'll go back to that fantasy booking thing. Right. I'll just say you'll find the other victim in regards to it, to what I'm about to state. Right.
Go on.
Simple. Give Ronda the match with Becky.
Yes.
Don't force Charlotte into it. Do not make it a triple threat.
No.
Now, what can Charlotte do? That will be very, very interesting. Where she can still be a heel and potentially get recognition of an important match. Oh, wait. There's not like there's another women's championship on her actual freaking brand that she's on.
Oh, no, not at all. Oh, wait, yeah, I keep forgetting.
Asuka.
She's on the blue brand.
Right. So,
yeah.
Becky, yes, she is on blue band. She's got her window of opportunity to be able to jump ship with the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
And Charlotte doesn't have it, but she's been given it anyway through Vince McMahon. What the hell, Vince?
Yeah, Asuka must be feeling decidedly unimpressed.
She isn't. She hasn't. She just won the championship, and she hasn't been on TV since.
Yeah.
So where is she?
A little bit of.
Do you know what my advice to? Do you know what my advice is to be right now? Do this.
Besides,
have Becky be upset. Have Charlotte be bragging that she can do anything and everything. That she is the best. You know, I can do anything that Becky can't. I can beat people and everything. Simple.
Yeah.
Asuka. Have Asuka challenge.
Yeah. Have Asuka
Charlotte Flair
and say, "Oh, really? Is that so? Well, I'm on the same show as you. I've got this big shiny blue and white thing. Fight me for it. Bang.
Fight me for it." Charlotte can then turn on and say, "Why would I fight you when I beat you last year?" and took your undefeated streak.
Yeah.
Oscar can then turn around and say, "What, chicken or scared I'm prepared this time?"
Yeah.
Charlotte versus Oscar.
Or failing that, Asuka can simply once again hold up the big gold, blue, and white thing and say, "You fight me because you're a Flair. Your very reason for existence is these.
Correct.
I've got it. You want it. Come at me."
Exactly. And that there would then make more magic because here's the thing. If Charlotte's got... You could potentially have WrestleMania going into a unique situation
Of
massively.
2 match of the night candidates, both of them being for women's championships.
And there's a potential ability of having the 4 horsewomen all with championships as well.
Closing out the show.
For WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's an absolute no-lose.
Possible. Which would be interesting.
Let's hope they see sense and manage to shoehorn a way into doing that. But who actually knows? Right, if we could see you back towards the rest of Elimination Chamber now that we've covered that, because
let me just,
time is moving on and...
Yeah, it's moving on. Chucking the box away. Apologies for the bounce. So I can safely assume that we're both stating...
Justified.
I am safely assuming that we are both going with Ronda Rousey.
Yes.
Fine. And now next, let's go on to the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
Tag Team Championships, SmackDown. Currently held by...
The Miz and the greatest in the world, Shane McMahon.
Yes.
Versus the Usos.
Perennial SmackDown and Raw Tag Team Champions and Championship contenders. Should be an interesting match.
Should be. However...
Except, there is a slight situation which has led to... let's just say the result might not be... Well, the result may be far more clear-cut than we'd like it to be.
Correct, which would be a massive shame.
But
because unfortunately...
circumstances have led to it being inevitable.
Unfortunately, one of the Usos have been very, very naughty. Jimmy, who has supposedly... I'm stating this because this is not 100%, this is potentially from a dirt sheet. It has been reported that Jimmy Uso was arrested recently.
For for alcohol.
I believe he was involved with the engagements with police officers and everything, but...
Yeah, which, if even remotely true, means Miz and McMahon are retaining, simple as. Potentially.
And the problem is with it is, in regards to it, well, the actual prior engagements it's nothing to do with alcohol. It's supposedly to do with authorities claim that Jimmy removed his shirt and jacket and squared up like he wanted to fight, prompting the officer to pull a stun gun before he feared for his, because he feared for his safety. Jimmy eventually calmed down and complied with the officer's command and was handcuffed and taken into custody. Reports have stated, but that's supposedly, and the charges that he was out was disorderly conduct and obstruction.
Yeah, which, as I say, is incredibly stupid and has completely telegraphed the outcome of the match.
Potentially correct, which is a shame.
Yeah. I would have liked to, and if I hadn't have known that, would probably have said the Usos to probably win. But in light of that ain't happening, is it?
No. I can see the Miz and Shane McMahon successfully
retaining. Yeah.
We'll go with that. And that's both of us again.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
Unfortunately,
are there any other matches, or do we just have the 2 Elimination Chambers now?
There is the 2 Elimination Chamber matches, and I think that's it.
Okay.
Now, which one shall we go for? first?
I think we should go for the men's elimination chamber first.
The WWE
Championship.
which
Yeah.
has Daniel Bryan, AJ
The
Styles,
incumbent defending champion. Yep, AJ Styles.
the former, Jeff Hardy,
Former champion. Ooh.
Randy Orton, Samoa Joe,
Ooh.
and originally Mustafa Ali.
However, Mustafa Ali is not having a great deal of luck with injuries and knocking himself about recently,
And has suffered
So
a
I
concussion.
which means in his place will be...
Kofi Kingston.
So it's a 6-man elimination chamber match in which 3 have any real chance of winning. Yeah, okay.
Now, to give it more plausibility, supposedly, Kofi Kingston on SmackDown ran a gauntlet of wrestling for over an hour.
Nice. Well, if anyone's capable of that, Kofi Kingston, lest we forget, for the last 5 or 6 years has been exclusively a tag team wrestler, but former United States and Intercontinental champion before that, perfectly capable of doing it.
And you want a
Hasn't
surprise?
yet won the big one.
I know we don't normally do reveals on, the results of SmackDown normally on the air on this.
But for those of you that haven't seen it,
On SmackDown,
just
apologies.
this once.
The reason why I've got to discuss this is because, it's one of them. You ready? Gauntlet
What?
match. First people
Yep.
to be wrestling. Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan.
Really?
Kofi Kingston pinned Daniel Bryan.
Well, that is an action in and of itself, which, under normal circumstances, would get him a spot in the title match in the Elimination Chamber. He pinned the current champ.
Clean.
But it gets weirder.
He then proceeded to go on to beat Jeff Hardy.
Okay.
And then proceeded to go on to beat Samoa Joe.
Good Lord.
At which point, Joe, upset, decided to choke him out after the match. AJ Styles
Wow.
comes down, breaks it up, and gets Joe off Kofi Kingston as he
Off
wants to
Kofi.
fight. And you've got an image of AJ Styles saying, "No, be cool, it's fine. You've worked hard to get this far," and you got Kofi saying, "No, come on, let's keep going." At AJ, and unfortunately for Kofi, he ended up having to tap out to AJ's calf crusher.
However, contrary to everything we've ranted about what they're doing wrong with the women's scene at the moment, boom, look at that. That is how you build a potential championship challenger in one night. Just like that. Kofi Kingston, in the eyes of the fans, can hang with the best and deserves his place now.
I haven't finished the gauntlet.
Oh, good Lord. Well, okay, Kofi's done after a marathon effort, but I'm assuming there was another opponent for AJ Styles.
Yep, he's ready for him. He's waiting for Randy Orton, who then proceeded to catch AJ Styles from out of nowhere with an RKO, which the referee somehow had allowed it to continue immediately without the bell and counted to 3.
Sorry, I just fell asleep out of sheer boredom at Randy Orton there. Do carry on.
Which I believe on SmackDown, I think that was for the final place, as in the final slot for who gets to enter in last.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Well, there you go. So, what? So basically, the final entry, as in the man who will be released from his pod last,
Potentially could be Randy Orton.
Well, that's snortacular.
Now, who do you think will win?
Honestly, they've put far too much effort in and far too much of their company weight behind Daniel Bryan for him to lose the title this early into what, if he stays injury-free, might well be a Pete Dunne-esque length of reign.
True.
So my money is Daniel Bryan to win by last pinning Kofi Kingston.
There is a rumour of Kofi winning going round.
Yeah, I point you back in the direction of, as I mentioned earlier, the 2011 Elimination Chamber, which I believe will be the model for this one, where there was a rumour that Santino Marella would win. And everyone believed it right up until the moment when he missed with the Cobra and got pinned by the eventual winner, which is, I think, a repeat of exactly how it's going to go down.
Which is ironically,
minus the Cobra and perhaps more Trouble in Paradise.
Which is ironically the same person who is the current champ. Daniel Bryan.
No less. Yeah.
Correct.
So there you go.
I can see Daniel Bryan.
The irony.
I can see Daniel Bryan coming out of this as the champion as well.
Don't get me wrong, I'd like to see Kofi Kingston win and have a little title reign leading into WrestleMania where Daniel Bryan will almost inevitably regain the title. But I can't see it happening. I'm going to call Daniel Bryan to win by last beating Kofi Kingston.
Fair enough. I can see it myself.
Possibly
I can see it being Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles.
Yeah, there is also perfectly good logic to that, but I think if they're determined to cement Kofi as a permanent mainstay in the main event scene, and stranger things have happened, he will get a shock pin on AJ, which will lead to the final, the run-in between him and Daniel Bryan. Yeah. But that's just my remarkably precise prediction.
And it could end up leading to a match at Fastlane.
It could well.
Could do. Anyway, let's get on to the last match, which is Tag Team Elimination Chamber match for the inaugural WWE Women's Tag Team Championship.
Now, am I to understand that at least until whoever it is that is the champs, that are the champs, are tied down to one brand or another, that these are going to be the sole WWE Women's Tag Team Championships to be represented across all brands?
Both brands.
It would be nice if it was all four brands, but sadly, no.
Potentially, I agree.
Because who wouldn't pay NXT UK TakeOver to see, I don't know, let's say the team of Isla Dawn and, I don't know, my mind's gone completely blank, Killer Kelly, face off against whoever the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions are.
Correct. Now, shall we go through who are in for a chance?
Largely for the sake of those watching elsewhere, but even more than that, because I can't remember. Yes, please.
That's fine. We have got Nia Jax and Tamina.
Lovely. The heavy hitters going to be in there briefly, but do a hell of a lot of damage. That's my call.
Versus the Riot Squad, which is going to be Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan.
Yeah, those girls are definitely dark horses.
Versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
Indeed. Outsiders, a lot of people would say, but it's good that WWE is trying to have strength in depth in the women's tag team division, so no complaints from me there.
The Iconics.
Yeah.
Billie Kay and Peyton Royce.
Fundamentally not my cup of tea, but I know they have their fans. They've earned their place. Can't default them for that.
Okay. Naomi and Carmella.
Now, I'm aware that they do it in men's tag teams all the time, but that absolutely sniffs of thrown together team to fill in the space. And okay, both women deserve to be perhaps in there, but perhaps not with each other. It's a case of, well, they're not doing anything else. Shit, let's throw them together and see what sticks. I don't know why they're in there, to be honest. But
True.
They're there.
Correct. And then the last team.
And the final team
is.
Can I just say, ahead of before you saying it, if it's not Bayley and Sasha Banks, I'm not watching.
You're watching.
Thank goodness for that. All is right with the world, because
Bayley
they've been literally hinting
Banks.
at that they are, there's two of them and they work together and everything. They've basically been a women's tag team for the last 18 months.
They've looked like a tag team.
Yeah. And so, they have to be the odds-on favourites for me.
Yeah. And are you ready for this?
Yep.
Who are you going to go for?
I'm going for Banks and Bayley. The real B team.
Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? We've only got one match between us.
What? Where we differ?
Yeah.
That either means WWE is all very predictable, and everyone is thinking along our lines, or
we're going to have a car wreck.
Or we're very predictable, and we're going to be very, very wrong, and it is indeed going to be a car wreck. Hey, can't wait to find out.
I'm looking forward to this.
Absolutely.
I am looking forward to this. So Bayley and Banks.
For both of us.
Very interesting this is going to be.
Yes, indeed it will.
So,
and that is taking place. I'm not entirely sure, actually, when that is taking place. I mean, it might be the case that the pre-show starts at midnight. It might be the case that it's on now. I really don't know. I'm just about to find out. Bear with me.
Potentially. Now, in regards to one other piece of news I need to discuss, and it's to do with Raw. Now, a lot of people are now stating, in regards to a certain tag team who've recently acquired New Gold.
The tag team who absolutely deserve it, you mean?
Yes, they do.
Hashtag FTR.
Love it. The Revival.
Fantastic. The Revival. Long overdue reign.
Long overdue.
WWE Raw Tag Team Champions.
Has that only happened because of them considering to leave?
Possibly. But frankly, if it's lit a fire under them and under the bookings and they've realised what they've got, great. Because it couldn't happen to a better tag team, honestly. They genuinely are one of those teams where you watch them lose on Raw every week and you think, seriously, there are no better tag team wrestlers than these guys. They've spent their whole career watching the Four Horsemen, Blanchard and Anderson, the Killer Bees, the Hart Foundation, all the best tag teams from their childhood. And literally honing their craft. And really, you're going to put them on Superstars and have them lose to the Ascension. Pull yourself together. So,
savagery at its finest.
Hashtag FTR. Long live the Revival. I hope it's the first of many reigns. They deserve it.
It's massively interesting. It is. It's massively interesting, all this is. And I can also say I'm absolutely looking forward to it. And, wow.
For those who are interested, by the way, I believe that the pay-per-view starts at midnight because the Elimination Chamber pre-show is on the WWE Network now. And there's a little countdown clock in the corner that says 37 minutes. 37 minutes.
So the pre-show is happening now?
Yes.
Right. So essentially, we got it starting from midnight. So there you go, folks. That's it, all interesting for us. And I can also say congratulations to the Revival, but why is that the tag team title, not the Raw tag team titles, not on this pay-per-view?
That is a very good question.
Why, where is the US Championship?
That is also a very good question.
Are they saving these other championships for, I believe, Fastlane?
It could well be the case. I've often said that with the amount of shows that WWE do now, and with the amount of titles they now have, I think it honestly would benefit if they took a UFC.
Are you still there?
Single pay-per-view.
I believe we might have just lost you for a second there.
Oh, okay.
Apologies for that, folks.
My point, just in case you didn't hear me.
Apologies
just
for that,
in case
folks.
you didn't hear me. If you can hear me loud and clear now.
Yep, we can.
Okay, I'll reiterate my point briefly, just in case you didn't hear before. I think with the pure number of titles that WWE have going forward, that it might be prudent for them, along with the number of shows, to take a UFC-style approach to the championships, namely, not every title appears on every show, with the exception of the big four shows, obviously.
Correct.
To, A, increase the importance of title matches, B, have longer title reigns, and C, prevent saturation.
Correct.
And if that is why, if they are beginning to do this, that might explain why the US title and the Raw Tag Team titles are absent from tonight. Which, while it's a shame,
but also it doesn't explain Brock Lesnar
in the long run.
It doesn't explain Brock Lesnar, who is not defending his title at this pay-per-view.
It does. Well, no, that doesn't explain that, but Lesnar's part-time schedule is the explanation for that.
Here's a prediction for, I believe, for Fastlane. Brock Lesnar, still Universal Champion by not defending it.
Fairly safe bet, that, I would have said.
Pretty much. But anyway, that's our predictions for that. And unfortunately, we've been on the air for a long time. And unfortunately, I believe that's going to be a wrap-up for this week for us.
Awesome.
So we thought we'd just end it there now. And I know I actually mentioned last week that there's a possibility of us having a discussion in regards to the Attitude Era. I never stated when it would be. But how about next week we discuss the topic of was the Attitude Era really as good as we thought?
With the benefit of hindsight, we take off the rose-tinted spectacles, have a slightly closer look at it, and go, was it really all that? I think that'll cover the whole show next week. So that sounds like a good bet.
That sounds like a good bet.
Oh, plus a quick mention of how well we did with Elimination Chamber predictions. That sounds like a banger for next week. But we should probably wrap up this week.
That is correct. So,
haven't you got some shameless shilling to do?
I believe I do. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to take some practice breaths.
Right, well, while you do that, I'm happy to fill the space. Don't forget, if you are a subscriber to the WWE Network, yours for only $9.99. Send the check in the post, Vince. Yeah, the Elimination Chamber is 33 minutes and 33 seconds away as of just then.
You got to love a good cheap plug.
Watch it and you've got the stamina and you can stay up till 4:30 in the morning and go to work the next day, congratulations, you've got more than me. Enjoy it. I will be watching it in due course over the next day or two, as I'm sure will Matt Burns.
Yep.
We'll let you know as soon as the UKWA 0 Hour appears on Turnbuckle TV, and cue Matt Burns for various other plugs.
Right. Here come the plugs. Please check out UKWA, also known as UK Wrestling Alliance. Please check out UK Wrestling Media. Of course, which they are also known as UKWM, which they do absolutely fantastic work. Please check out Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy if you are interested in wrestling, where they have beginner classes are on Monday for £10 per class, which is 7 p.m. till 9 p.m, which is if anybody's after their location. Please check out their social media. Please check out JG Printing and Stitching. They do absolutely fantastic work. I've actually got a one-of-a-kind polo shirt for The Burning Truth, which is absolutely amazing. I love it. Please check out places, for example, like charities like Mind, which are absolutely fantastic, and of course Changes UK for health and well-being, which their website is www.change.org. No, changes.org.uk. Please check out the information on there. It can prove very, very useful. It could end up helping either yourself or someone that you may know. The information could prove useful and vital. You never know. Please check out Team 4-Star on YouTube. Please check out bands such like The New Breed, Kamens. Absolute top-notch music. Great. I recommend them myself. I listen to them almost every day myself. Please check out Botchamania. You're welcome, Matthew. I've got to fit you in almost every week. Please check out YouTube channels like Phil DeFranco, who is always busting out some news information. Always keep trying to make it as entertaining as possible. Please check out Luke Moto, who does some blogging. Very entertaining. Please check out When Fandom Strikes, who is also on YouTube and of course also I believe on TikTok, which is where I managed to find them on there. Of course, please also check out local wrestling shows on social media, because on there you can possibly find out they've got some great prizes to give out, like some potential free tickets, some potential, you can even get some meet and greets on there. Who knows? It can prove very useful. Just to mention some local wrestling shows, some examples are United Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, Future Championship Wrestling, Fusion Pro Wrestling for You, and of course many, many more. Please all check out your local wrestling. Please check out Turnbuckle TV, where, as we've already been describing throughout this episode, that UKWA 0 Hour will be on there very, very soon, and of course the trailer is actually out on YouTube as well. Please, of course, as always, please also, the last thing to plug will be the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com, where it could be potentially where you're listening to us live. You could be listening to past broadcast episodes, past interviews, reading some show reviews, or listening to the audio show reviews. And of course, where you can get some snazzy merchandise, like some snazzy t-shirts and office mugs. They do make great presents. And of course, there is a blog section, which as I stated, we'll be getting around to eventually. But I am actually currently working on an actual blog post to actually put up soon. So please check out the website for that. We've also got a contact page where you can get in touch with ourselves, and of course, all the links that we've already mentioned in regards to some of the links that we've already mentioned on this broadcast will actually be on the links page, of course, as well. But please do not hold us responsible for anything that's on their website, because we are not actually being held responsible. So please do not hold the Burning Truth, John Bloor, or myself personally involved in regards to what content they reveal on there. And of course, please follow us. Check out our social media, which is Facebook, YouTube, Instagram and Twitter, which our Twitter handle is spelled out. It's a little bit different, which is Wrestling Fourth Wall, which is WRESLING4THWALL. And of course, last but not least, please check it out on Spotify, as we've got some past episodes on there as well.
Deep breath, wonderful. I think what Matt Burns was trying to say there is the Burning Truth is not responsible for the content of external websites.
Correct.
Thank you very much for listening. We're going to discuss the Attitude Era in mind-numbing, fantastic detail next week.
Correct.
So until then, stay safe.
Well,
and remember, kids, don't try this.
Correct.
Home, at school, or anywhere.
And with that, that's a wrap up for this week. So, of course, we will catch you next week. So, with that, stay well, stay safe, and we will catch you next week. And, of course, please, always check out your local wrestling. Until next week, catch you later.
Thank you, and good night.